Hello, this is the fourth lecture in writing research papers, and in this lecture we're going to discuss the step how to research a topic. Of course, as I said, it's all about steps in writing research papers. So the following steps outline a simple and effective strategies for writing research paper. Depending on your familiarity with the topic and the challenges you encounter along the way, you may need to rearrange these steps. So the following steps might need rearranging depending on how well you're familiar with writing research papers. Now, step one, identify and develop your topic. Of course, within this steps, there are certain sub steps, starting with selecting a topic within the parameters set by the assignment. Many times, your instructor will give you clear guidelines as to what you can and what you cannot write about. Failure to work within these guidelines may result in your proposed paper being deemed unacceptable to your instructor. Step 2. Select a topic of personal interest to you and learn more about it. Okay? So the research here for and writing of a paper will be more enjoyable if you're writing about something that you find interesting. Step 3. Select a topic for which you can find a manageable amount of information. Do a preliminary search of information sources to determine whether existing sources will meet your needs or not. If you find too little, you may need to broaden your topic. Okay. Step 4. Be original. Be original. Your instructor reads hundreds of research papers every year, and many of them are on the same topics in the news at the time, controversial issues, subjects for which there is ample and easily accessed information, and so on and so forth. Stand out from your classmates by selecting an interesting and off the beaten path topic. Step 5 is if you still cannot come up with a topic to write about, please just see your instructor for advice. Now, step 2, do a preliminary search for information. So, before beginning your research in earnest, do a preliminary search to determine whether there is enough information out there for your needs and set the content. Now, look up your keywords that you have already written in the appropriate titles in the library's reference collection, such as encyclopedias and dictionaries, and in other sources such as the catalogs of books, periodical databases, and the internet and search engines as well. Additional background information may be found in your lecture notes, textbooks, and reserve readings, and so on and so forth. You may find it necessary to adjust the focus of your topic in light of the resources available to you. The next step is how to locate materials, how to locate materials, it is kind of an easy job, because with the direction of your research now clear to you, you can begin locating material on your topic. Now, well, if you are looking for books, do a subject search in the Alpha catalog. Okay, a keyword search can be performed if the subject search doesn't yield enough information. You can also print or write down the citation information, author, title, and so on and so forth, and the location, call number, and collection of the item or items. Note the circulation status when you look of the papers that you're after, and then when you locate the book on the shelf, look at the books located nearby. Similar items are always shelved in the same area. Okay, and of course there are different places where you can look for information. There are a number here. This is what should be is not or there is a number of places you can look for information. Well, we can use electronic periodical databases to find magazines and newspapers and articles. We can choose databases and formats best suited to your topic. Ask the librarian at the reference desk if you need help. You can use Google, Yahoo, and all the relevant search engines. You can check the internet resources section, okay, to find all the information relevant to your topic. Step 4, which is how to evaluate your research. Now, having done your search, having found your research, how to evaluate them. And this is the most significant step. Okay, now there is a wide range and variety of information available on the internet, with a wide range of accuracy, reliability, and value. Unlike most traditional information sources, books, magazines, and so on and so forth, no one has to evaluate or approve internet content before it is made public. Basically, anybody with a computer can put anything he wants onto the internet. It is your job as a researcher, therefore, to evaluate what you locate in order to determine whether it suits your needs or not. Okay? So, credibility, accuracy, reasonableness, and support. Okay? These are the represented by the word CARS. CARS, C from credibility, A from accuracy, R from reasonableness, S from support. Now let's just start with credibility. Now, because people have always made important decisions based on information, evidence of authenticity and reliability or credibility, okay, believability, if you wish, has always been important. Okay, if you read an article saying that the area where you live will experience a major earthquake, for example, in the next 6 months, it is important that you should know whether or not to believe the information. Okay, credibility is a measure of the authenticity or reliability of the source of information. To determine credibility, you may ask, why should I believe this source of information over another? Okay, how does this source know this information? What is it about this source makes it believable or not? Okay. Now, of course, there are certain indicators leading to credibility. Now, the next, yes, the next one is accuracy and how it is indicated. Of course, the goal of accuracy test is to ensure that the information is actually correct, accurate information, up to date, detailed, exact, and comprehensive. Okay. Now, how can we reach to this? Of course, through certain indicators represented by the timelessness. Okay, this measure is of how up to date information is in many disciplines, sciences, medicine, technology, and so on and so forth. Timelessness is a very important measure of relevance of information, and therefore its accuracy, since new discoveries are constantly being made, and the facts about that subject are constantly changing. Okay, so this is an important indicator. Another indicator, which is comprehensiveness. Okay, comprehensiveness deals with the comprehensive topics. Of course, the ideal article or website presents a thorough decision of the subject as opposed to only touching on the highlights. However, no one can read 20,000 articles on the same subject before coming to a conclusion or making a decision. Okay? No single piece of information will ever a truly complete story. So we need to look for comprehensiveness. The last indicator of accuracy, which is the lack of bias. The lack of a bias. There is no bias in the study. By addressing all sides of an issue, the author ensures that you have a complete and objective treatment of a topic. Biased information is not completely useless, but the bias must be taken into consideration when you interpret and use the information. Of course, okay. The next evaluator, which is reasonableness. The measure of reasonable information lies in its fairness, objectivity, moderateness, and consistency. Okay, how can we ensure these factors? Of course, through the following indicators. First one, fairness. We have to look for a balanced and well-reasoned argument. The tone of the article should be factual and thoughtful. Why? Because good information or a good information source will possess a calm, reasoned tone, arguing or presenting material thoughtfully and thoroughly, and without attempting to get you emotionally worked up. So pay attention to the tone and be especially cautious of highly emotional writing. Okay. The second one, pure objectivity, is almost impossible to find, of course, but a good writer should be able to control his or her biases. This is important. You need to be aware that some individuals and organizations are naturally not neutral, okay, and be on the lookout for slanted, biased, or politically distorted work. Okay, so what to do here? Now, the next one is moderateness. a test of the information against how the world really is. Okay, here you may use your own knowledge and experience to ask if the information is really likely, possible, or probable. Okay, keep in mind that most information is in ordinary and not likely to cause great excitement. Okay, if you find claims that are surprising or difficult to believe, or which otherwise deviate from your knowledge and experience, use caution and demand more evidence than you might require for a lesser claim. Okay. Now, the last one, which is consistency. Okay, the facts, findings in an article or website should not contradict themselves in other parts of the same article or website. Okay, how? Because sometimes when people spin falsehoods or distort the truth, inconsistencies or even contradictions show up. In research, there is no need to such a thing. In research, all things must be consistent. Okay. Now, the next one and the last element is support. How to the last evaluator, which is support. Now here, most information presented in an article, for example, comes from other sources. This is a fact. Now you need to ask yourself, where did this information come from? What sources did the information creator use? Is there a bibliography or other documentation? How does the writer know this? It is especially important, okay, that statistical information be documented. This is a very significant point. Otherwise, someone may be just making up numbers. By properly citing and acknowledging sources of information, an author strengthens his or her credibility. So support is the most important and significant element in evaluating the sources. Now, how to indicate that the support is workable? Of course, 4 elements. Okay. Corroboration, and these are represented by doing other sources when agreeing with the information in this source, or confirmability, okay, as which is an important test. Whether you're looking for a fact, an opinion, or some advice, it is a good idea to triangulate your findings. Okay, that is, find at least 3 sources that agree with each other. If your sources do not agree, you should do further search to find out the range of opinion or disagreement before you draw your own conclusions. The second one, which is external consistency. Here you also need to compare what is familiar in the new, okay, in the new source with what is familiar in the other sources. Where this source discusses facts or ideas, okay, I already know something about, and so on and so forth. Okay, then the fourth one, the third one, which is the claims made in the article are supported by facts and or figures, the source of which is clearly noted. Okay, this is important. And finally, proper documentation and citing of the sources for facts and statistics used in the article. Okay, for example, a bibliography or a list of references or works cited at the end of the article or website is a very, very crucial element here to support your evaluation. Okay, and even though most of the reviewers of the papers, of research papers, will definitely look for the works cited or references or bibliography at the end of the work to evaluate whether your search is good or not. Okay, well, that's all for this lecture, and which is about how to research about a topic. We talked about the steps how to do your research, representing by the identifying and developing your topic. Then we move to doing preliminary search for information. The third step, locating materials for your topic, and the fourth step, which is evaluating the sources. Okay, and this evaluation should be made through via four sub-steps: credibility, accuracy, reasonableness, and support. Okay, thank you very much. That's all for me.